We live? I hope so. I think so. I think we're live. Says we are live. Live, spaghetti ride. Are we live? I'm waiting for this. Now, before we get a delay, let's cancel that. I don't know what I'm doing with my eyebrows. But hello, everybody. There's an ambulance that just drove by. Perks, I guess, of living on the main street is now so many cars drive by that it's just constantly noisy. Oh, the wife got me a apple cider from a local shop. That's pretty damn good. Oh, what did I even title this again? Starting over again. Oh, there's Facebook. How can I disable that? Can I hit this? Oh, go to notification. Turn off all notifications for Google Chrome. Sounds like a good idea. I don't know if you guys heard that really loud noise. You live? Yeah, I'm live. It's been a while. We're I don't even know where to start because I don't know if people have started noticing I am starting to post some videos again. We're starting to get in. All the videos being posted right now are like a year old from before we went to Saskatchewan, which next week those Saskatchewan videos are coming to the channel of me exploring my family's junkyard, which was almost a year ago. But a lot of stuff happened since. I hope you guys can hear me. Yes, you guys can hear me because I had the little bit of delay there watching the channel there. Some stuff happened. I like seeing green grass in your winter uploads. Me too. Right now, Manitoba is going through like thaw freeze. Today has been a thaw day, and I had to use 4x4 to get out of the yard. And I left 2 giant ruts in the yard because I was very pissed off and had to run the Canadian Tire quick. But those videos are starting to come out. The reason all those videos got delayed and got put on back order, and as you see, we're in a new room. There's a new room here. The office is in its own room. My son and my office are no longer in the same room because we have a bigger home now. So what's happened in the last year for me not uploading properly? Well, everyone got terminated from my employment. That was fun. That was fun to have to figure it out and get that dealt with. So I fortunately enough, knew some people at the local GM dealership, so I moved over there. But yeah, everyone got terminated from their employment because they sold, and they went from little mom and pop to corporate, and the corporate came in and said, we're going to offer you jobs, and they offered me a job that was less than what I previously had. And I was like, I'm not the downgrade and lose my apprenticeship and all that stuff. So I had to figure other stuff out. On top of that, the rental that we were in was having problems. We were having nonstop problems with the roof. We were having problems with negotiating with the landlord because my landlord was an awesome guy, wasn't a bad guy. I actually have nothing bad to really say about him. He was wheelchair bound, so everything went through his father. Well, his father was an 80-year-old man who was fighting multiple health issues and stuff like that. I don't fully know the story and stuff like that. So stuff wasn't getting done at a rental. The roof was starting to fall apart. They replaced the roof, then the roof had more problems. Then it had to be redone. And then we had a bad storm come through and rip a couple shingles off. The bathroom was falling apart. It was an old home. And we were living there for almost 2 years. And it was just like, hey, this list keeps building and building and nothing's actually getting done. To the point where, we had to get out of there. And it was just bad timing too when we're getting out of there. I get terminated from my job. We have all these cars and projects and stuff all over the place. and it just kind of went time, and it's ironic because before a year ago when we disappeared from the channel, I was talking about how we got that rental and how I was able to afford my son coming into the world and stuff like that. I sold everything. Well, round two, starting over again. I sold everything again. We are left with the Bloodhound because I don't have the heart to sell that. That's the first hot rod I built. It's the first truck I built up. I love that truck. And also we sold everything to the point where that's my daily driver is the 67, the Bloodhound. Right now it's parked in the driveway because I have a video being filmed with that. The brakes are disabled because the brakes failed on me over Easter. So that's getting fixed right now. But so we didn't sell that because that's what I'm driving every day. And the wife, we had to figure out a situation to also sell everything to do with the Camaro. The Camaro is ours now. She's driving that to work just because the way it worked with what we had to do out of that deal to get it to become ours was way cheaper than trying to buy like a little family car or something like that. So yeah, now that's that way. And then on top of that, yeah, sadly, and I was very begrudgingly on selling a lot of that stuff. The Tahoe's gone, the Pontiac's gone, the other Pontiac is gone, the Sunfire's gone. The Sunfire was starting to go because it was a really old car. As much as I did all the body work on it, she was metal body sound again, and the engine was sound. Everything else was very worn out on it, and we kept finding like parts are breaking as we're fixing them. And it's like, I get it. It's a 22-year-old car. I love those cars, but it just didn't make sense to keep that car. So that car went. Actually, that car sold on Christmas Eve, I'm pretty sure, because we were talking about it, and we're like, well, which cars they sell easier and faster and everything like that. And we're like, oh, no, we'll throw it up, and it sold and went. The 64 Pontiac is also got sold, sadly, and I was very begrudgingly on that because I put a lot of work into that car already. Not so much work as in body work and figuring out stuff, but figuring out how I was going to build that car, figuring out all the dimensions and where the cuts were going to be. I started putting tape lines all over the car. Getting the title for that car was a battle. And I lost money actually on that car because it was just like, we sold everything. So yeah, we're down back to my truck and the Camaro. Back down to two vehicles. Not that that's a horrible thing. Like, that's realism. I'm a 23-year-old. The fact that I have two cars, one's a nicer performance car, makes sense. But we're back down to two vehicles. But on top of that, selling all of the projects also amalgamated and helped with the perfect storm. We bought this house because we're like, where I'm living, housing is very hard to come by. It's another reason we sold everything. Housing is not easily accessible or easy to come by or other stuff. And actually, selling the one Pontiac paid for our deposit on this house. Actually, that money went to the deposit for this house. But we bought a house. And I may start making some videos on that. It has a garage finally. I have pavement. We're no longer in the dirt. We're upgrading. But that garage needs a lot of work. So I'm probably not going to be buying a project this summer. We're probably just going to be putting all our money into that garage. And the fact that my employment has stayed steady now. We're starting to see normal again, which is nice. But like the title of this video, starting over again. Everything sold to buy a house for my wife and my son. It's the way it goes. It makes me sad because, like I said, that 64 Pontiac, and it sucks too because the first video on that 64 Pontiac was that 64 Pontiac. The first video did so well. I was like, this series is going to do so well. I'm going to make so many people pissed off, but also be like, this is a hot rod and stuff like that. So I was really excited to do that project, and sadly gone. The perfect storm, yeah. Housing hard to come by between the US and the Arctic Circle. I don't know about everywhere. I know in Manitoba and northern Manitoba, not so much north of the major cities and stuff like that. Everywhere there, it is not easy to get housing, and it's not easy to get cheap housing. Everywhere north of the city right now is in a housing crisis, just because we are having a boom of, well, there's a couple factories being built. There's a big steel mill and stuff like that in Manitoba. Lot of jobs. Problem is there's not enough housing for everyone for these jobs. So we have a huge demand on working workers, and this is the biggest thing when people go, "Oh, I can't find work." I'm like, bull, big bull, because there's places hiring everywhere, even the dealerships. The dealerships are looking for people because we have one lube tech. That a little bit speaks on to itself, but they need people bad, but there's no housing, so people can't come here. They can't move here to start working here when there's houses that come up for sell out immediately. All the apartment buildings being built get rented out before they're even being finished built. Like my buddy went to a townhouse, he changed from a rental to a townhouse and stuff like that, and just because it was like $300 cheaper, but that $300 counts. Like, it's a Canadian problem now. I can't speak for the rest of Canada because I'm not there. I'm not exploring Canada. I talk to most of my family's older in the next generation, and they have houses already. We're very, very fortunate to land this house. Just kind of popped up right time, right situation, and we stole it. Like, it also needs a lot of work. This place needs fixing up by a fair amount, which we're going to be doing because I'm a young guy. So if I got to spend a couple weekends working some overtime so I can pay for some stuff to get fixed here, I'm willing to do that. And we have been fixing some stuff. Like, we've already done some electrical, and what else? Putting in some heat, because up here in Canada we need that heat, and we have to do the basement eventually. Some of the foundation work is getting done as soon as the ground thawed, because then I can dig. Or we have to dig about 3 feet around the entire house and lay a barrier, a water barrier, vapor barrier, and stuff like that, because this is a 100-year-old house. It doesn't have any of that. As well as then we have to go in and fix in all the foundation cracks and everything. We have to fix the foundation between the driveway and the house, because the driveway is right up against the house and it's water just pours in there. So that needs to get fixed. And the garage needs the whole northern wall is rotten, so it needs to be redone. And the roof needs a new roof. It's a 50-year-old roof that was never redone. So it's just, the shingles are all rounded. There's like no shingle left, just the base that was actually nailed, and water's started poking holes through all that wood. So, hey, but it's a roof over my head. It's my problem now. Instead of me having to talk to a landlord, I have a problem, I'll fix it myself. Which I appreciate. I'm glad knock on wood, I have a home with a yard that is empty. Home is good. Yeah. Home is very good. But with saying that, I do plan on a lot of stuff going on. Like, we do still have my buddy's truck bed to do, which as soon as, I'm hoping maybe this weekend, I may clean out the garage, run over to my parents' old farm, and there's a couple old toolboxes, and they're not toolboxes that you'd want to really work out of, or workbenches. They're old shop toolboxes I bought like when I was 16 off of a guy cleaning out his garage. But they'll work for storing a lot of the handheld tools and stuff like that, the plasma cutter and such. And I'm gonna bring over my my original little tiny toolbox. I think it's a beach toolbox or it's a water log or whatever. Little cheap toolbox for my sockets here at home. Because it's something. I can't steal my work box because it's at work, but it'll be something because I'm not buying a new toolbox anytime soon. But we have a couple of truck beds to do this summer. I have my buddy's truck bed to do where they be bringing in, I got to repair the box sides on it. Then there's a donor box, fixing the box sides on the donor box that was sitting on that frame in the past videos. Then where they be taking those box sides off because the floor bed of that box is gone. It's rotten. Then he'll have to drop his truck off here. We'll have to take the box off, undo all the pinch welds, take those box sides off. And the main reason we have to replace the box sides is his truck was hit and run. Oh, hi, cat. You scared the crap out of me. His truck was hit and run. And insurance told him, yeah, you can pay your deductible, but because your box is a bit rusty, you're going to pay for putting in a non-rusty box on. And he's like, that's going to cost me so much more money. So we figured out this solution. We found a donor box for a couple $100. I'm fixing up the bed sides for it because they're straight. The main bed side's straight versus his is impacted. We'll take them off, fix that. My sister needs hers exact same bed too. She needs her wheel arches fixed, so that's probably going to get fixed. The Bloodhound is getting repairs here and there because I'm driving it every day. Whenever something breaks, just like over Easter, part of the brakes broke. So right now, making a video on it, fixing the brakes on that. So a lot of videos are going to come on the Bloodhound. I do have a video, and I can't wait to show you guys. I actually washed that truck for the first time in ever since I've owned the truck for 6 years. 6 years, right? I bought that truck in 6 years. I've owned that truck for like 6 years. Holy crap. That cab has probably not been washed in 30 years. Because the cab originally is a 5-ton cab, and its last registry, I think, was 84. Was the last time the cab was stickered and stamped. So it hasn't been washed since 84 for sure. And it was a farm truck, and farm trucks typically don't get washed. They sit outside in the field all day long. They get driven 20,000 kilometers every year, and that's it. So that cab's probably not been washed in, 84, so 30 years, 40 years for sure. We washed it, and I never washed it before because it had lichen on the cab. I never wanted to get rid of the lichen, but as I've been driving it for the last year and a half and before, it started getting little pinstripes on the roof and stuff from all the lichen flying off on the highway. So I was like, okay, it's time to wash her. And it's a pretty decent before and after. Like, you can tell it's very different. The truck, the paint, it's very bright. It's not dark anymore. It's not dirty. But I'm pretty happy with it. But I have plans for that truck in the future anyways, so we're going to keep doing repairs on it when it needs. But as much as I love that truck, it's an old truck, and it's a worn out truck because that frame, the original truck for it, the frame came up north, about 8 hours north, I guess, from Winnipeg. It would have been like 10 hours north from Winnipeg, which doesn't seem like a lot, but it's a decent drive because we had to drive slower on the way home. So it took us I think 12 hours to get back. So there are lots of videos coming with the Bloodhound, so they still have the classic cars and stuff like that, as well as we might have a couple classics come around here and stuff because my buddies need work on their stuff. So we're they keep working away and getting her done. And if I can get another project car, I would love to work on that. The Bloodhound, Flin Flon area north, yeah, around there. Um, the truck was a little bit north, or the truck was in the paw. It was in the paw. It was in the weird like industrial area, and I think yeah, it was middle of summer when we went, so it was actually nice because we saw moose and stuff like that. On the Marcus Schneider channel, actually, I think there's a video of me going and getting the truck. I think it was titled like we spent 23 hours to find this barn. I guess I called it a barn find then or something like there, but it was sitting in pieces in this business's front lawn, and like it was like a foot in the ground. I was in the Paw a year ago. Yeah, the Paw is beautiful. It's a wonderful little town to go into and see, but some of the roads up there are pretty thin. Like they're supposed to be a dual lane highway, and especially with a big truck and trailer, you're pretty much riding down the middle of that highway. You're riding both lanes because those shoulders will you hit that gravel, that the cement that's crumbling on the side of the road, you hit that going highway speeds, it's going to pull you right off, and you're never going to be seeing again. At least that was 6 years ago, 7 years ago. I haven't been up there since, so maybe the roads have improved. But yeah, that truck's lived the tale already, lived the life, because the cab was from a farm in Steinbach, but that grain truck got dismantled over by the border, and that's where I picked up the cab. And that cab originally was bought to be the replacement cab for my 2-ton when I had that, a 1969 2-ton. Try driving Saskatchewan roads. Try driving Manitoba roads right now. The city, because I live in the city here, the city on this road right here has put pylons out in 3 different sections of the road because the potholes have gone so bad that people were puncturing tires every time they were pretty much like every day. So they put pylons on it. They'll solve it. It's pretty bad here. And I was parking because we don't have a big driveway here. We have a little freaking narrow driveway that even my truck doesn't really fit on because the driveway's narrower than the truck. One vehicle has to park on the road right now. And before we were parking in the yard, but today I got proven that's kind of difficult, and I left 2 giant Bretts in the yard, and I was like, we have to go back to parking on the road because it's too wet, too warm. And my neighbor's yard is flooding into mine, which is lovely. It's wonderful. Her yard's super high in the middle and scoops down into mine, and all of her drainage is on that side of her house. So my front yard is just getting flooded. I mean, that is what it is. I'm going to do some landscaping this year and build up my front yard and get it all leveled as best as I can, so that the water can just scoop out and not sit in my yard. But that's the way the roads are. The truck I need to do some more stuff on. I did the rear springs on them, and I put overloader springs where they have the individual coil in the spring, because I was smacking the spring with the diff. The springs, like I was driving and I just went poof, and I felt the spring blow. It didn't fall off or come apart. It lost all compression, and the diff was smacking the shock. So I put new shocks on with overloader springs on it, and I actually separated my rear coils for the first time ever in life. I actually saw some air gaps between some of those coils I never saw air gaps between before. So my truck ride's a lot better. Trust me, Manitoba roads are heaven compared to Saskatchewan. The highway from the Pod and the Poa is mostly gravel. Yeah, once you go up north, because 3 numbered highways are gravel. I'm pretty sure all three number highways are gravel. 2 number and 1 number highways are paved. But some 2 number highways are not maintained the best, so they've fallen to the wayside. As far as I can say, I can't say that for sure. Like, again, we've not been traveling a whole lot because, well, life situations. I know I see your pictures every once in a while, Dad Cam. You travel all over the place, and I love it. Oh, but we do have one project coming because I picked it up extremely cheap, especially for Manitoba. I picked it up for extremely cheap. We do have hopefully, because I might be counting my apples before they're caught or ripe or whatever it is. We have a 1969 Silver Streak pop-up tent camper coming. That's they need some repair. That thing's going to be pretty cool, and we're planning on pulling that behind the old 67. I've been everywhere, man. I've been everywhere. But that's mostly what's been happening. Why we're starting all over again. Yard's empty. No more. We sold all the projects. We're in a new place. We're in a nice big house, and this is more than I deserve, especially with the way life has gone and how I've treated life and everything like this. This is way more than I deserve. The fact that I have a roof over my head, it's a blessing. I don't know why I'm wearing these. These don't matter. I'm not listening to anything. But I mean, as long as you guys can hear me, then that's good, because I don't hear the audio feedback or loop. So but it's a blessing. It's a blessing to have a roof over your head. That's for goddamn sure. Because I know some of my friends and their families. It's not that they're looking for rentals, and they're looking for homes, and they're working. They're living with their parents because they got nowhere else to go. Because there's just, like we were saying before, Canada housing market, no good. I still have a cab corner for a Chevy 1500 OBS style, if anybody needs, because I never needed it. And I was like, it was $15. Job paid me out. I don't need to return it. Well, now it's like, man's hoard has 8 million good parts. Just like, I'm pretty sure not in that box. That box is something for the Camaro, which they go on. No, that's a Wii. The Pontiac's mirror is still somewhere in this mess. And in that box is a AC HVAC control for 67 to 72 truck. For a truck that has AC controls. Which I was thinking originally in putting mine, but I don't have AC, and that was back when we were thinking LS swap it, and I don't have that. So it just sits there in a box, just like everything else. Same with factor of like, but I told my father this summer, and I'm hoping to see some videos on this because I'm getting very nostalgic and I really want to get it done because we need to get it done. My dad's 1972, the old blue that's been on the channel a couple times. Does that cab corner fit your 67? No, it doesn't. But the cab corners on the 67 are fine. I mean, the one is like dented in a little bit, but it's solid. Man, every time I go underneath that truck, I see some of my old welds because I learned to weld on that truck. I see some of my old welds and I go like, oh, I can do that way better now. But then there's stuff like the brake booster. My brake booster bracket, the Z bar bracket, like a couple weeks ago, the bottom bolt that was holding it on dunk, snapped. And so the whole bracket was swinging when I was holding my brake. I'm like, that's not good. I don't have time to really fix this. Pull the booster off, pushed my hammer against the firewall, and zhunk, welded it. And I'm like, and you know what? I can't even be ashamed of that because the weld's pretty good. Is it for a square body? No, it's for an OBS. What is it? 94 1500 Chevy truck or GMC truck, same thing. No, I get a lot of my metal. So like the 72, when we do the 72, I don't know if we're going to get to the cab this summer, but we're for sure doing the frame and getting the frame done. We're going to get it actually sandblasted and painted because I told my father, I'm like, this is a family heirloom that's been in the family for 5 generations. We're doing it right because we want it to last another 5 generations. So we're going to get the frame sandblasted and painted. But I get all of my metal from Walker Auto in Winnipeg. Funny enough, DD Speech Up gets a lot of his metal from him too occasionally, because he still does use the Chinese repop stuff, and he has to make it work. And he, on his rear Camaro sides, it's the one side was a little too far in, or was not far out enough. But Walker Auto in Winnipeg, in Canada, in Manitoba, great metal. Great guy to find metal source and get American-made steel, not Chinese repops, American-made steel. But yeah, I have where they can get a full floor for the 1972. That's a goal. That's very much a goal of mine, is to get that truck going. I would love to get a square body again. We had that little. Was it a Cheyenne C10 there for a little bit last summer? A guy, one of my buddies, one of my associates, person I know, I deal with certain stuff. He's a good guy. He was just selling it. It's a rusty old truck and had no idea if it ran, had no idea if it was a good truck, had no idea which way or whatever. Had that truck. He got it on trade for some rims and stuff like that. And then when he got it, it was like, oh, it's rough. So I bought it off of him. We got it running. We poured some fluids into it, got it home and all that stuff. And then I didn't own that truck for very long. I owned that truck for like 20 minutes. I think that's the only reason I didn't keep it, was because my buddy told me, he's like, I'm buying that off of you. Whatever you paid for it, I'll pay you for it and stuff. I'm like, and a bottle of rum. And so it went on its way. A new store near Three Hills, Alberta, selling 6772 C10 parts called Redneck Superstore. Maybe I'll have to look into that. Because I know there's Bill's Truck Shop in Ontario. Problem is, I always have problems trying to reach them because every time I phone them, I always get voicemail and then I never get a voicemail back. I never get a reply on their emails. I have ordered some stuff through them. They've been quality parts, but I've never gotten anything. LMC, I've ordered some parts through, and I'm not super impressed with the quality. And same with Rock Auto. Rock Auto is Rock Auto. You get what you pay for. There's a reason it's cheap. But Walker Auto is. He has a physical store in Winnipeg. He's been pretty good to me, so I can't really complain. We bought the one fender for my 67 from him when the tree hit the green 67 one ton and killed one of those fenders. And he sold that to me for a pretty good price because I'm not paying shipping. Because he ships it all bulk, gets big bulk shipments from the United States up through the border and stuff like that, and good American-made steel. I can't complain on that. I mean, just like anything you get remade and stuff like that, you're going to have to work it a little bit. But I'll have to look into that. Called Redneck Superstore. Let me pull up actually another little tab here. Redneck Superstore. Cool. Has 61 Google reviews. And they have a website. Do they have a real website, or is it just like a landing page with their phone number, just like Walker Auto? Because some of these old guys, they're very knowledgeable, tons of knowledge, do not know how to run a website. The website's okay. ATVs, side by sides, dirt bikes, trailers, motors, gear. Products, inventory. They look like a dirt bike store. Penhold, Alberta. Oh heck, I did some base training over in Penhold, Alberta. It's a cadet. It was, because it's closed now. That base is closed now. But Penhold base was a cadet base. I did some training there when I was young. No, that's cool. It's good to know. It's good to know that there are more stores starting to carry the supply. I mean, the 67 to 72 truck is a very popular year. It's a very popular truck. People are very nostalgic over it. It's a very common truck still. You can still find them, still do it. And you can buy pretty much everything for those trucks. Like, down to anything. My problem is my 67, the salt's starting to get to the frame. And that's something I should have done when I originally built that truck. When everything was off the frame, we should have sandblasted and painted it then. But I didn't have the money then. It was just hey, let's pull this frame, let's pull this cab, let's pull this motor, slap it all together, and drive it. I know, get one. I know, got one. Yeah. I love those. Like I said, my dad's 72. They work on it this year. We're actually gonna. I told my dad we need to, because my son is growing bigger. My grandfather's no longer in the world. As time goes on, if we just keep collecting parts for it and just keep sitting, it'll keep sitting. And it'll get rotted. It'll keep rotting. And it'll get worse. So the frames in my driveway. Once it warms up here, my dad's saying start coming over more and where they work on it together. And for me, that feels very nostalgic because I guess this was like 4 years ago now. I still have video and I pull it up every once in a while. And I pulled it up yesterday of me, my father, and my grandfather using my grandfather's backhoe and lifting up a trailer because the hydraulic ram failed. And they go and do some repairs on it. And it did. It got my feelings up there because family's family, and especially when you have old vehicles and vehicles have been in the family for so long. And even if you've owned a vehicle for so long, it starts to become a part of the family. Old Blue, that 72, that's part of the family. The 67, the Bloodhound, is, as time goes on, is becoming more and more family. And it's becoming family. And I love it. But one thing I really want to do, and I guess I gotta aim the camera over here, because now we have a space. Oh, how, man, modern trucks will you be able to pull out of the field, park for 20 plus years and drive it? None. I'm like working at the dealership. We're seeing a lot of these vehicles that are 3 years old, 4 years old being traded in. They're rotten. Like, they're rotten. Like, for us to resell them, we have to do full rockers and cab corners on them. Like, a 4-year-old truck should, like, with like 60,000 kilometers, needs rockers. That's not good. It's definitely not good. And especially with the fact that GM with the 6.2, the 6.2 V8 is belt driven for the timing belt. So one, you have a plastic rubber compound belt in your timing put there. You run that up and down, hot, cold, especially in Canada's climate. It's going to get brittle. And same with age. Rubber ages. It has a failure point, and these are interference motors. Once these motors and that belt starts to crack and stretch and starts to deteriorate, and if it lets go, this motor is interference motor. Even if these belts are taken out and you start use the starter to turn the motor over when there's no timing, it'll smack the valves and you'll wreck the motor. So these modern trucks, okay, you go put a brand new truck and you put it in the field for 20 years and you go start it. It won't, because the rubber will like just like anything rubber, anything bushing wise, anything like that falls apart, especially soaked in oil. Like sometimes rubber, like oil can save rubber, but a lot of these modern oils strip. They pull stuff out of these rubber compounds. I mean, that's just what I can say about it. Is these trucks are modern vehicles aren't built to last. They're consumer products built for you to buy a new one every 3 years when the warranty gives out. They have so much plastic on them. It's just both. I think Ford started doing it first with the plastic oil pans, but GM is following suit. I think Dodge is really following suit with the plastic intakes and the oil filter housings. And again, they all, it's plastic, especially up here up north. Hot, cold, it becomes brittle and it just becomes a mess. Yeah, well said, man. I'm just speaking out my ass. Let's be honest here. Everyone has their opinion. Everyone's welcome to their opinion. I'm really not interested in a modern GM vehicle at all, just because of the way that's going. I actually would say Dodge is building some amazing motors. Not their lower scale motors, not their 4 cylinders, or even their V6s are okay. But their V8s are actually, I'm quite impressed with the way the motor itself is built. Maybe not everything else attached to the motor, but Dodge's motors I'm pretty impressed with. And GM is using the same 10-speed transmissions that Ford is using, so those are coming from the same supplier. Can't really say anything there. These new frames are paper thin on all of these vehicles, and I think the modern Suburbans and the Tahoes are no longer a chassis on frame anymore. They're a unibody build, which is weird to me because a Suburban and a Tahoe are a truck. They're not anymore. They're a unibody build. Which my dad, I was talking to him, I'm like, yeah, the new Tahoes and stuff, when I get them pulled up and I put them up in the air, I'm like, the frame's welded straight to the body. It's no longer a body on frame. And my father looked into it and he's like, yeah, the new Suburbans and the new Tahoes, they're a unibody build. They're no longer chassis on frame. And I was like, even the Suburbans, that's sad. Of course, I know more about GMs because I'm a GM guy. I care a little more about the GM side. But and it sucks because a GM motor cannot. They have puddles of oil underneath it. I love GM motors. I love them, but they have puddles of the new ones have puddles of oil underneath them every time, especially when the weather changes. Ford does not leak in their motors. Those damn motors are so damn sealed up, and they don't want to let go. Many people know that on those exhaust studs on those Fords, because once they're in, they're in. You're not taking them out, because if you take them out, you're breaking every single one of them. That's for damn sure. But that's my opinion. I like what all of them are doing. But, oh, that's another sticker. We have a canvas here. This canvas, I didn't have a canvas before, and so I should not share that. A lot of YouTubers, especially a lot of the guys that we used to talk to, especially on live streams, before used to we all sent stickers to each other. Well, I just never really had anywhere to put them. But I still got them. And now we do. So these, going on the good old filing cabinet, especially since we're going to be doing live stream. I'm hoping to do live streams more often. We'll get a fresh view on all of these. And I guess I gotta, holy crud, I actually got a fair bit, and I gotta remember where all of these are for. Yeah, because we got stuff with Cletus here. He's doing pretty good. I see his stuff every once in a while, especially with that LS Volvo. Oh my lord. If I can undo stickers, apparently I'm pinching myself to try and do this. Ooh. We'll put him right in the corner up here. You can barely see it, but stuff with Cletus right there. And that other one, Wasted Talent Fabrications. I know he had, seems like a lot of people have garage fires and stuff like that. And I know a while ago, he had a failing there, and the Subaru got all melty. Oh, let's put that there. And I have a couple of these. There's a couple of these will go on the other side. The wood and metal garage. Been a while since I've checked out any of his stuff. I should probably check some of that stuff out. Again, I haven't talked to some of these guys in a while because I've been a little bit of occupied. My brain is flipping. I flip-floppied it. Sure he's in there. Big Block 4-2. And if any of you guys check any of these guys out and stuff like that, they're awesome. They have a lot of content and stuff like that. Big Block actually has a lot of C10 stuff too. Or he did. I don't know if he's making much C10 content recently, but he was making a fair bit. If I can get his sticker off, he's got a really good sticky sticker. He doesn't want it to come off of the peeling. Oh my lord, I'm taking the other corner. Ooh, there we go. No. See, I'm too manly. I break my nails all the time. It's hard to take stickers off. Oh, Big Block. Greasy Boy Customs. His content's quite. I don't know why, it amuses me. Is this Peel Easy tab? Now, is it Peel Easy? Or is it not? I think this Peel Easy tab is a lie. So let me go from another corner. This sticker's cut real nice. Yeah, see, it's a lie. Peel Easy is a lie. Sticker there. American as F. Are all these other channels in Canada? No, not all of them. Actually, some of them are south side. But they're not that far. Just like Rusty Wrenches in Kansas City. That's obviously not up here in Canada. A lot of Canadian guys I watch with, and I got to work on some stuff here that I have. Good Canadian channel is my brain is slipping. DD Speed Shop. He's pretty good. Mechanics. He's a good guy as well. My brain's slipping on his name. I know his name. I can pull it up here real quick. Another Canadian channel. And these are guys who are local to me. I know. J-Ride Customs. J-Ride is doing what is it? I think the frame is of a modern transit bus. It has an LS motor in it. It's got an old grain cab on it, 50s, I think. And he's making sort of a ramp truck with it, duck-tailed truck with it, because he just wants to make a nice hauler. DD's from Winnipeg. Yes, DD Speed Shop is from Winnipeg. And I send some stuff over there every once in a while. Oh, Rusty Wrenches. Oh, and there's the good old Morsky Repair. You know, I was batting off that guy a little bit because, he's the starter master. And for a while there, especially for the Bloodhound, I went through so many starters because I was rebuilding them. I was taking good starters apart. I was taking automatic starters apart, stealing their solenoids for my manual starter. And even now, I still have starter issues. I put a brand new starter in it, and the brand new starter worked for about a month. So I pulled it out on the side of the road because that's all I had. put in the old starter that would stay on quite a while. Went and exchanged it and got a new starter, but then I ran off that old starter all winter long. I would crank it like 4 or 5 times, hearing the Bendix until it actually sent it out. But good old Morsky Repairs and his starter issues has followed me here. Check out Shortcut Garage in Empton and Gold City Trucks in Washington State. Yeah, see, there's a lot of these guys around. They're doing some fun stuff. And these are just old stickers that have been sent to me. I will not lie. I have not purchased these stickers. And I have other stickers on the other side of the filing cabinet. The other side of the filing cabinet is my sticker, I don't know what you call it, sticker bomb. We have a lot of DD Speed Shop stickers on there. We have some, he's not a YouTuber. Does he still make posts? He makes posts mostly about vintage snowmobiles. He's on Instagram. If I can find him, because I don't remember his name. Yeti Pops. Yeti Pops just popped up on my thing. That is a guy who built a pretty sweet 60. I think it might be a 69 or a 70 C10. He was in World of Wheels a couple times with it. That's a pretty nice build. He's pretty local here. No, my brain is not working for who that is. I'm not following a lot of people, so it makes sense. Sledders of Manitoba. See, I should remember that. Sledders Manitoba. I have his sticker on the other side here. There's a lot of people all over the place, and J Ride Customs, I talk to him occasionally. I haven't talked to him actually in a while. And Jay from Mechanics, I talk to them a fair bit, and we do a lot. Another local shop that does not have a YouTube channel. I keep trying to bug them for it, do it, but it's a lot of work to do a YouTube channel, obviously, especially when it's not paid work. But Zombie Body Shop, and I might even convince him to have some of his stuff here on this channel, just because I work with him a lot. We do stuff here and there. He's a good guy. Iron Horse Garage. They're a funny bunch. I won't lie. They're in Idaho, but they're a funny bunch. Old Car Guy. Old Car Guy has a lot of old C10 stuff. He has a little old blue truck. He likes ramming that thing and doing random stuff to it all the times. He has a lot of vehicles. He just doesn't do a huge amount with them. And again, these are just old stickers all these guys have sent over to me for the last couple of years. But now that we have a decent setup where I can have them, especially here on live, they'll be in the background here on the live. I'll picture them up. And when we run out of space, they probably will eventually overlap, just because I like sticker bombing, where you have stickers overlap each other constantly. That's something I like. As long as I can, I'll try and space them, but we'll see. Oh. Is this a sticker, or is this just a business card? Because I got a couple business cards. Oh, no, this is a sticker. Greasy Boy Customs. I thought I put a sticker here for them, Ray. Nope, no, I have not. Greasy Boy Customs. Good old spark plug. 113 Cycles. He's an awesome. 113 Cycles is a good motorcycle guy. He's a pretty chill guy to talk to as well. A successful YouTube channel is a lot of work. Yeah, that's for sure. And this one's not successful, and it's a lot of work. Even when they're not successful, they can be a fair bit. RMG. I'm trying to remember. I know what he is. Ray Marker's Garage on YouTube. This truck is a pretty sweet build that he's done. And it's a build that I've always wanted to do. You take a big old grain truck, you shorten up the frame, and you slap a truck bed on it. And man, is that cool, especially this year. This year, the 67, the 72, and even some later years, because obviously big truck units overlap a little bit. I love those big trucks. I miss my 1969 2-ton. I miss it every day. I want one again so badly. But we just got to get away with what we can for now. And right there, good old 1113 cycles. Roy Marco's garage in Edmonton. Yes, sorry, my brain. Yeah, sorry, Ro. The way the handwriting is on the business card there, my brain is. Like I said, I really enjoyed Roy Marco's his build on that big truck. I love those big trucks so much. So see, there's some Canadians there. Just a few. Just a couple. If I can get these stickers apart. I'm having problems. I don't have girly hands. I have beat up. I can't even say manly hands. I got beat up hands. That's it. They're just beat up. They're starting to become swollen from all the work. Apparently, for some reason, I stuck all my circles over here. Trulo's garage. I don't fully remember what his is. I don't remember any of his builds off the top of my head right now. Oh, no, that's a modern wooden medal, and yeah, right now that's all I got. So we got a bunch here of guys, and we got to stick a good old Schneider Classics on there as well. No, just for good luck. Oh. There, just for good luck. Because good old Schneider Classics. You know, that kid just keeps on selling his stuff for his family to get him stuff, and he keeps running out of projects, but he keeps bringing more stuff in because he keeps breaking stuff, man. But there's that. And as we do more and stuff like that, once the garage has its new wall and we insulate and build walls there, I am planning on doing my license plate wall in there again, because I have many, many license plates, not really old vintage license plates, just license plates in general, that in the original chicken coop, the dirt floor little building I built at my family's old farm, I did that with the one wall. I did license plates all over the one wall behind the workbench. I want to do that again. That's something I'm very excited to do, because I love those old license plates, or even new license plates. I like license plates, especially snowmobile license plates. You get off-road license plates. I got to pull. Actually, we have one snowmobile sitting here in the yard that I don't think we'll sell this year because the snow's gone. So hopefully it'll sell in the coming year. But I got to pull the plate off it as well and stick it on the wall. I was sad I had one vintage snowmobile come through here that had 76 plates, but the damn thing was so frozen, they weren't coming off. But sadly, that went. Any license plates. I love license plates. Even I love the little bicycle ones. I don't have a bicycle one yet, but eventually. For sure, eventually. I think most of this live stream has just been me and you hanging out. But you know what? I enjoy it, and I thank you because you've brought in a lot of comments and a lot of stuff there to add to the stream, and that's for sure. Especially give me points of reference and where I can be like, yeah, what's been happening, what's been going on. But again, with saying that, like I know there are 2 videos already uploaded and scheduled for next week. One is they're from Saskatchewan. We're visiting the family and visiting the family junkyard out there. Before things got quiet on the channel. I do know we did that plasma cutter video. That I get why it doesn't do so well because it's kind of a generic random out there video. That I bought that plasma cutter to do the 67 project very much, and that's where we were practicing cutting on the Sunfire because that body had to come off anyways. I was actually quite impressed with that little bit of redneck ingenuity. Like that was just us fooling around with it for 3-4 hours. First live stream for me on YouTube with just me as the audience. Hey, there's 2 people in here now. Like I said, man, I appreciate it because you're adding to it. And it's especially you're correcting me on some of the names because I'm obviously not the best reader. Even his Rory Marco's Garage, his user on YouTube is Blown Chevy, and I love that. But it's craziness. It's craziness out here, and like I said, there's a bunch of parts. Like I know. Oh, actually, let me see what's up here. There it is. There's the mirror that was supposed to go on the good old 64 Pontiac. I'm so upset that I sold that car. I really did not want to sell that car. I mean, we do have other cars here. Look, we got another little. What is this? 69 Chevy. Here sitting right on my desk. We got a. Oh, what the heck is this now? 52 Chevy. There we go. You can't count these for years. And again, I'm just trying to be right because I'm like 67 to 72. Well, obviously this is 69 to 72 because it's got the big window. When they brought in all those regulations, and then this is little T bucket. And I have lots of Hot Wheels, obviously. There, Pontiac Firebird, couple Camaros. Ooh, a lot more. What else is here, actually? Oh, this is my last Valentine's Day gift because everyone knows. 67 Chevy C10. Yeah. I also have one of those toy trucks, but green. Yeah, like when you have your vehicle and you know your vehicle, I love them. I love Hot Wheels where you're like, I want to do a big bookshelf right here above the computer so I can see it and everything. And then I'll be like, hey, look, there's some Hot Wheels, but there's you guys. You're right there. That's what you guys look like right now. Or, well, you. Yeah. I think everyone has little cars, especially if they like. One of my favorite things to do is if I know somebody and they have like a nice car that they really are really attached to, I try and find it actually. With DD Speed Shop on one of his S'more DD Speed Shop stuff on his one of his recent videos and stuff he was opening up in the mail, and he made the comment, he's like, you could just come by and drop this off. And I was like, I don't have time. So I mailed it quickly there, or actually, to be honest, the wife mailed it there. Oh, here's you, Marcus. Yeah, here's me. But the wife mailed it off there, and I got him a Nomad with a trailer, and I thought that was pretty cool because I'm like, hey, look, it's Nomad with a trailer. And same with I think just another Chevy, just a Chevy Bel Air. My old coworker had his old 70s Charger. I found a little 70s Charger for him. One of my good friends here in town that's local with me and stuff like that, he had a Charger. He doesn't have the Charger anymore because he traded in for a truck because the Charger wouldn't make it up his driveway in winter. So he's like, sadly, as much as I love this car, it's not realistic anymore if I can't drive up my own damn driveway. So he had a Charger. I got him a little Charger, and I believe in that. I think that's what, like, everyone's got to have little cars, and especially if you know somebody who has pride and joy in one of his vehicles or one of her vehicles, buy it. Be like, here you go. There you go. Enjoy it. Have fun with it. Because everyone, I don't know, it's like a little appreciation. My dad, when I guess this was like 6-8 years ago now, my dad they brought a Jeep brand new in like 2015. It was his like pride and joy. Even now it's pretty much his pride and joy, even though I'm driving it right now as the truck's down. I bought him a little JK Jeep. His is I don't think his isn't a JL, a JK. It might be a JL or whatever they call them. I don't know Jeeps that well. But I bought him a little. I think it's actually a JL that I bought him. Bought him a little Jeep. It sits on top of his computer. And it moves every once in a while because his computer has a dip, so it moves a little bit. It like sits different stance every once in a while. I think he may play with it every so often. Ooh, there's screws in here for this mirror. Oh, look, right there. There's the body screws for it. Sitting right there. They're right there in the weather seal. I'm not playing with my old car mirror. That will not be used for a while. So we have another hot rod that needs a one-side mirror, a driver's only mirror. What's in this box? I don't remember what's in this box. Oh, now I know what's in this box. It's full of filters. Those might have been for snowmobiles and tractors and lawnmowers. I also sold all the lawnmowers. I don't have any more lawnmowers. I do have some small stuff. We do have... I don't know if I should do a video on it and stuff. I need to get around to doing a video on it. I do have a motor from a certain somebody's Nova. Yeah. That I want to do a will it rerun because it's been sitting in the garage now for a couple months and it's been sitting now for a year, and I should, not that I know if I'm going to use it or not, because I originally bought it for, well, I gave them a case of pop and took it away. I think the transmission just has to go in my scrap trailer. The transmission shot, but the motor, I should probably put that motor on on one of the engine stands and run it up and see how it does. How she goes and vroom vroom. That's for sure. I know DG Speed Shop there made a homemade little run stand there. That was pretty, out of just a engine cradle stand, which I have a couple of those, so I might need to do that. Steal that idea off them. Oh. My brain's starting to run a little short. It's been a while since I've done one of these live streams and been like, I know what I'm talking about, because I don't know a damn thing what I'm talking about. I could babble on for eons. I'm also finding stickers randomly on the ground. Oh, there's another Schneider Classic sticker. I got a couple of those kicking around still. Oh, I'm hoping this summer maybe sell a couple of those, because I do know the website also went down, and the website went down not because I wasn't paying for it, not because of anything else, because GoDaddy decided, even though I wasn't, so I stopped doing e-commerce on it. They went, no, if you're not doing e-commerce, you're not doing any of it. And I'm like, well, no, I should still paying for my URL and everything like that. They're like, nope, site's down, it's gone. I'm like, well, let's put it back up. Like, what do I got to do to put it back up? Oh no, it's already gone. So the site's, I'm a little disappointed with GoDaddy there for that one. Very easy web building service, was very easy to get the domain and set it up all with them, but from that one experience. And I think it was just the one lady. The one lady deleted it and didn't fully understand what I wanted and everything there. It's gone. The site's gone, which sucks because we had some of the Schneider Classics fundraisers and then some of the Schneider Classics donations and stuff, all announcements on there and stuff like that because we've sponsored some teams locally. And that's one of my big things is, oh, look, I just sold a car. Here's whatever. No, they didn't sell my domain. They didn't sell the domain name. I still own the domain name. They killed the website. At least I hope they didn't sell the domain name because I paid a decent penny for it. I'll have to look after. No, they killed the website. So, I mean, like I said, I hope they didn't sell the domain name because I paid for it. But no, the website's down, which sucks. But I won't lie, the e-commerce side of it, I don't know how to do e-commerce. I don't know how to sell stuff. I really shouldn't be selling stuff anyways. That was kind of a pipe dream to be like, well, if a little bit comes in just to cover itself, then we get some nice shop shirts and stuff like that. And I ruin them. Every shirt I get, I ruin. So, but I was appreciative of everyone who did get a shirt and did do shirts and stuff like that. And these stickers for a little while there, especially when I was very on top of the live streams before, these stickers were showing up everywhere. But they're just holding your domain ransom a little bit. But I'll deal with that in the future. We'll figure that back out. I have the paperwork for it, so if I need to go down that route, I can get it back. It's just the website. The website went down, and they said the website was deleted, and there's no possible way of getting it back. I was like, well, that sucks. I mean, the internet does sometimes suck in a black hole, and stuff just is gone forever. But good enough that YouTube is still alive, because there's some history here on the channel. I think the channel is now. Oh, heck. I don't even know how old the channel is. Oh, I think some of the oldest videos on Schneider Classics are like 4 years old, I think. If I look, videos, no, I can't look it up. I probably can. I just will take me a bit of time. Oh, oldest. 3 years ago. So 4 years ago. You will own nothing and be happy. Yeah, that is the truth. No, I bought a house, but did I buy a house? No, the bank bought a house. Do I own the land underneath the home? No, I don't. The city owns the land, and the government owns the land, in which I have to pay ransom to of my property taxes every year. Yeah, I understand that. You will own nothing and be happy. Yes, sir. No, what? I don't own nothing. Same with your cars. You know what? Your cars, you don't own them because you got to register them with the government. They got to pass government emissions. They got to pass this and that and there. And recently in Manitoba, they have added to the safeties and such. Vehicles have to be. They need to have the emission standard in which they were sold originally as. So a lot of diesels, a lot of guys like to delete their diesels. They cannot be sold. They cannot be recertified for road safeties, as well as a mill light, a check engine light, an idiot light. If your idiot light's on, vehicle no longer passes road safety standards because the mill light deals with emissions. And because it deals with emissions, if something is wrong with your emission system, it needs to be fixed before it can be recertified for the road. And that's where I love my old 67, because it's got no goddamn lights. It's got a couple of little light up lights to light up my gauges that may or may not work. And the vacuum gauge that worked so well before no longer works. It's got a couple lights behind the gauges, but it's got no lights for check engine lights or this lights or idiot lights. There's already one idiot behind. There's one nutcase, one nut holding onto that steering wheel, and we'll see if it lets go. We don't need many others, because everyone knows when your check engine light pops up, you don't do nothing about it. You go, meh, and keep driving. As long as it does keep driving. Some of these new vehicles shut you down and they put you in limp mode. And in limp mode, you can only go so far, and these vehicles take over, and it's pretty scary, especially with the fact that the government is trying to bring in more vacuum than oil pressure. What about oil pressure? There's oil under it, so there's oil in it. It's good. The government is trying to bring in a new thing, which I'm finding out with some of my schooling here, called OBD3, not OBD2, OBD3. And OBD3 is wireless. It is the OnStar or Ford's, what do they call it? On Assist Me or something like that, and Dodge's, whatever. I don't know what every company calls them and stuff like that. But all those wireless services that you pay for, those are OBD3. And what is happening now with the dealerships, some dealerships, not all dealerships, it's not fully on board yet, but it's coming out. When your car comes to an oil checkpoint, like an oil change checkpoint, it sends an email to the dealership that you bought it from saying, hey, look, this customer needs an oil on their truck. This customer has driven this far. This customer has put this many miles on past oil change. This customer is not following, their vehicle is not past emission standards for this long. It is everything that your check engine light should be doing, which is OBD2, follows into that, what your vehicle, what sensors are being read and like that. OBD3 is a government standard that they're trying to push through, where anything going on with your vehicle is being sent to the dealership. And if it's being sent to the dealership, and this is why it's still in progress, because the government's trying to fight to say that all that information that the dealership gets from OBD3, they deserve to have. And that's kind of where right now it's in communications. Big Brother is watching you. Hey man, I'm just telling some information that I learned that I found is shocking, but you got to expect it. Like a lot of these new vehicles, you download their app onto your phone that has your email, your personal information, your address, and everything with it, so you can start your truck from your phone. Like, sorry to tell you, they already got this information. They're just now going to get this information for your emissions standard, because that's what they care about. They care about emissions because that's where they can fine you. They have these emission standards sent to their web service. And like I said, the dealerships know about it because, well, look, OnStar's been out there for a long time. Ford's whatever has been out there, where they're even able to they're able to shut off vehicles too. I've played with it in some vehicles with OnStar because I know GMs and such like that. I've played with it, and they can shut your vehicle off remotely. You phone them, you tell them, hey, I can't shut my vehicle off or something like this. They shut it off remotely. And what was it? It was Dodge that got in trouble back in 2015 that people were hacking Jeeps, because you could hack a Jeep remotely and make the speedometer not work, make the brakes not work, make the wipers throw off, make the radio display show that random stuff or other stuff. I'm like, oh, and I think they got in big trouble for that, and they had to fix a lot of stuff because there are videos out there. It was a college. It was some of these guys at a college that were working on a program is showing the faults of Jeep through their system and saying like, hey, look, we can hack into this, and I can remotely, as this guy's driving on the highway with the Jeep that we've sanctioned for this, they could shut off his brakes, they could shut off his accelerator pedal, make his accelerator pedal not work, and even at low speeds, turn the vehicle, because a lot of people don't realize modern vehicles, nothing's hooked up. Your accelerator's hooked up to a sensor, which then goes to another sensor. Well, no, it's hooked up to a sensor that goes to the computer, and then the computer tells the other sensor that's hooked up to your throttle how far to move based off percentages. A lot of modern cars, their brakes are coming the same way. Your ABS system can take full control of your braking system remotely by computer, because it's just telling which proportioning valves to work. Your electric steering rack. Some of these cars don't even have a steering shaft from the steering wheel to the steering rack anymore. It's just a sensor, and you have to center it and everything else, and it goes down. And I mean, these are some of these high-end cars and stuff like that. A lot of base model cars still have a steering shaft through them, but there's nothing connecting you to that. It's all sensors and remotes and through a computer. And if that car shuts off, you're screwed. 1967 GMC totally unplugged. Yes, that is true. My 67 has no computers in it whatsoever. It may have a couple fuses that have been upgraded to higher amperage, but it's got no computer in it. And I would really love, mostly just to play around with it as like a little, maybe like grocery getter around town. I'd really love to get an old 20s or 30s car, like even an old Ford, old Chevy, whatever like that, with magneto driven, with a cranker, it's magneto, and like no batteries involved. I mean, I know they had coil packs then, but there were a couple. I've heard of it. I don't know if it's true or not. I've heard of a couple that are magneto driven. So there's no battery involved at all. It's all magneto. I mean, I had a quad like that. You just kicked her over and the magneto took over. I mean, if you really need, you pop the hood and you put a Briggs & Stratton underneath the hood, you pour some gas, you pull a starter, and away you go down the road. But it's, yeah, I'm going older vehicles now. Especially with the price. I can't afford a new vehicle. But again, that's my opinion. Always check up on your research. Always check up on your like knowledge. If somebody says something on the internet, check it out for yourself. I'm not going to say like, oh, here's my sources, here's where this is what this is saying. This is based off of what I come across. And there might be, it's not that I'm telling lies or anything, but there may be key segments missing from whatever I know, because I always can learn more, 100%. But I think I should leave that stuff alone, because I can get very, very much into all that and be like, go down the rabbit hole, because I very much disagree with the way the auto industry is going. And we're definitely not going towards not everyone's going to have an electric car. By originally Trudeau was promised 2025 where they go be all electric. No, we're not. Obviously, we're not going to be all electric next year. They're now talking about hydrogen. Hydrogen's just it's another battery. It's not a fuel. It's not a combustion engine that bases off of a fuel. It is a hydrogen. It's a water-based. You can make the hydrogen gas based off of water, but you need electricity to turn the gas into the water into a burnable fuel. But then you need the fuel to create the energy to then convert it. It's just a really bad battery. Like, it is a combustion engine, but it's to create the fuel, you need electricity. Where gas combustion, it's just gas. And the gas companies will laugh anyways. 2035 is the EV target. I don't see it. So many companies have started coming out. All the electric grids have started coming out. We see how California, how Texas got hit when they had that big snowstorm. Alberta got hit this last year when it hit minus 40 weathers. They were saying their grid got badly hit with EVs and such like that. Around here, we're having people build new houses. One of the guys I know, he wasn't allowed to put power to his brand new garage because 4 people, I think 3 or 4 people down his street had electric chargers. So there was not enough amperage on his grid to run a 200 amp service to his garage. He piggybacked off his house, but like, I don't see it. There's just not enough energy. And not only that, as everybody says, okay, the lithium. What are you using to mine the lithium? You're using diesel trucks. How can you have a target of 2035 is the EV target? You then come up with an electric big miner dump truck? How long is that going to take to charge? City of Winnipeg bought 6 EV electric transit buses because, oh, look, we're green. But behind their bus station, they spent about $8 grand in diesel generators to charge those buses. So what, where they have electric cars where they come home, fire up your diesel generator to power everything? It's not going to happen. Alberta declared an emergency alert during the minus 40 cold snap to keep the grid from collapsing. Yeah. And they were taking power from both Saskatchewan and Manitoba at the time because we were getting alerts on that as well, being like, we have to send our extra power over to Alberta. It's not going to happen. We cannot create enough electricity for the amount of vehicles there are. And you got to think, the state of California over in the States has a bigger population than all of Canada. And they can't do it. So what makes us think one state that has a bigger population can't create enough electricity for everyone, where they have certain time zones which you're allowed to charge your vehicle, and if you're not, you get charged up the wahoo for it because you shouldn't be losing electricity during that time because they don't have electricity during those peak hours. If they can't do it, what makes you think we can? And also, there's a reason this date keeps getting pushed further and further and further back. But I mean, again, that's my opinion. I can go down the rabbit hole badly. And it's not that I don't think EVs are cool. EVs are cool, and they're fast. They're really fast. The amount of torque that you can have, immediate torque delivery on a flick of a switch, is cool. And I've driven a couple of them. It's fun. But can I own an EV? No. I can't afford it. Can't afford it for the price. Can't afford it for the battery. Because I think the brand new Chevy Blazer EV, I think it's like a $50,000-$60,000 vehicle, brand new. The battery is 40 to 50 grand by itself. If the whole vehicle is 50 to 60 grand, but to buy a replacement battery is 40 to 50 grand right now. Because I mean, it is new. Maybe even in the future, there'll be some aftermarket batteries come in like that. It's not there. My one professor's sister-in-law, he talks about it all the time. She bought an EV 4 or 5 years ago. The battery died on it because she was not charging the battery to manufacturer specifications, which they said she had to wait till it went down to 20% before she was allowed to charge it to 100%. You're not allowed to plug it in until it hits 20% or some whatever proper charging procedure. They didn't cover under warranty. Spent 20 grand on that battery. for a car, paid 60 grand for originally, paid 1/3 of the cost of the damn car. What's funny is that the city of Edmonton is having problems with the new EV transit buses because the manufacturer closed down, so they can't get support. See, that's what I mean. Were they be all EV? We don't. It's not the fact that, like, put the infrastructure aside, put the environmental devastation of these lithium mines aside. There's no support for them. There's no repair. They're throwaway vehicles. And in Ontario right now, they're having a problem because when they were burying batteries, they were burying cars that caught fire, whatever, demolished, were recalls, whatever, that were not safe for the public to use. When they recalled these cars, they took all the batteries and they buried them in this net that was supposed to last like 100 or 1,000 years. It lasted 4 years. Right now, they're digging. They've done 300 feet down into the ground, and they're finding lithium-contaminated soil past this little rubber bubble that was supposed to seal it all for forever. It's ironically, since the city scrapped its electric trolley buses in 2009 because diesel was more cost efficient. Diesel is more cost efficient, especially for heavy transit. As long as it passes emissions. Like I said, City of Winnipeg, they're all for. They go, we got green, we got EV transit buses. We love our transit buses. They're all powered by diesel generators because we don't have the power grid to charge them. And it's the same story everywhere. It's not just, oh, this is one town, this is one place. Yeah. Like City of Edmonton, City of Calgary, all these places. California has tons of problems. Texas, when they had that snowstorm, I guess a couple of years ago now, they had tons of problems. They just and it's not the fact that we go, okay, let's generate more power. We don't have the capability of generating more power. Where they build more dams, where they build more wind farms, wind farms only work when it's windy. Solar panels only work if it's sunny. Hydro, well, we only have so many rivers. We can't pull power from nowhere. It's got to come from somewhere. And all these cars are made of plastic anyway. So what's plastic made out of? Oil. So the oil companies win anyways because the damn car's made out of oil anyways. But I'm going to get off my rampage because it's 10 o'clock here at night, and I should probably go and say goodnight to the family, give them hugs and kisses, and settle down for the night because I should settle down for the night before I go on more rampages. Thanks for hanging out with me, man. Oh, and whoever joined here at the end, thanks for hanging out. It's a good live stream. I think hopefully somebody clicks back on this and there's something that they can grasp from it later on. But I hope you have a good night. I'm going to be calling her. Like I said, we'll put more stickers here when we get them. When we call some channels. I should get a new DD Speed Shop sticker and stick it right there too. Have another local guy, Mechanics. I should ask him. I don't know if he has a sticker or not and throw it there. And I know J-Ride Customs, local guy, J-Ride Customs, he just hit over 1,000 subscribers, so he's doing pretty well. There is there is only one cheap sustainable power and nobody wants it. Yeah, because guess what? Problem is we have humans who then control substances, control that power, and you fall asleep with the controls can be catastrophic. Sadly. Not that I disagree that it's a good, cheap, sustainable power if it's maintained properly. But just like everything else in the world nowadays, it's built cheap. But have a good night. Hope everyone, the whole two of you that's here. But Dadcam, thanks for chatting along the whole time, being part of the stream. I really appreciate it because it's been good talking with you, and we've gone through quite a few topics. But I'm calling it a night. Oh, if I can remember how to even end the stream. Okay, there it is. Have a good night.